Let's talk about how shit our day was.
Let's talk about your shirt.
The shrooms. The Simps shrooms. Sure. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
It's just not. Doesn't feel the same. Oh, hang on. The shroom shirt's sick. Second to none.
Does it bring back fond memories?
It's a Sockadelic shirt with the Simpsons as mushrooms.
No, I was talking about this thing.
Oh, yeah, I hate that. I used to hate that when I was on film
You have
set.
like the most kiddish smile on your face.
I know, because I always thought it was hilarious. They yell out, they do the and then they go speed, rolling,
speed,
bang. Speed was for the audio. That's how the audio guys know that the mics are on and everything's with their recording audio.
Yeah, right.
They say speed, rolling,
interesting,
action. It's just the biggest wank. Film sets are anyway.
I have a question for you.
Are we doing the broadcast yet?
Can I ask you a question first?
Welcome to the okay.
How many injuries have you actually had?
Oh, I don't know.
Like actually.
Include like your style of injuries? Yeah. The word like I don't know, not hundreds. It's not hundreds.
How many bones have you broken?
Oh man, am I supposed to just know this stuff?
Okay, how many surgeries have you had?
I've had marginally minimal, like knee, meniscus, and ankle. No, nothing serious. Nothing like what you just had.
This?
I got no plates in my body. I've got no bits of steel.
What about your stomach?
I've had multiple. I forgot about those. Okay, yeah, I've had quite a few. I don't know. I've broken my collarbone, broken both my wrists at once on one occasion.
Did you have surgery on both of them?
No surgery.
What did you do?
Just scaphoid. They were just cracked.
So why is mine so hectic?
I don't know, because you're a fucking idiot. I have no idea. I've never seen.
Still, that's as far back as my wrist can go. And
it's only been a few weeks, and you've got metal in there.
Meant to be. I'm going to see the surgeon this Friday, and they will do a scan on it again. But it's been 6 weeks. I did it at the end of August.
Yeah, but the surgery was only 3 weeks ago.
4.
Okay.
No, I came back.
Do you understand? Like, there's big screws and metal plates in there. It takes a minute. Normally, you got to think. Like when I broke wrists, they put them in a cast for 6 weeks to stabilize the bone and get the bone growth. That's why you end up with these funky ass messed up wrists, because they all grow back with this scar.
Here's something that I thought.
Like, none of it's great.
Right, there was like a hairline break in the top of
your arm,
like
the radius
that way.
Yeah,
but then they've gone and screwed 8 screws into that, and they were like, we'll get the plate out in like 3 to 6 months, and like the recovery is much quicker. But they've just gone and drilled 8 holes into my bone, and they said the recovery is going to be quicker.
Yeah, because the bone's quite strong, and they need the top of it not to fall off. It's holding, like every time. I'm not a surgeon. Why are we talking about this? I have no idea about any of this shit.
Well, I just want to know
Get my friend Dan in. He can come in as a guest.
Oh, I need to speak to him.
He sells shoulders and wrists.
I need to speak to him about my knee.
He does wrists. Yeah, he'll know. He's like guru. He sits in on all those operations when they replace knees for people, and he knows his stuff. But no, most of my injuries have been pretty, like I'm thinking about it, like as you were talking, I'm like, man, I broke a lot of ribs. Yeah, in 2 Japan trips, I broke 4 ribs, I think. 3 in one trip and 1 in another.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
They suck.
Can I ask a question about your injuries, though?
I don't want to talk about them. They give me bad.
Are they that serious and you just haven't dealt with them properly?
Like every skateboarder, snowboarder on the planet doesn't deal with their injuries properly.
Yeah.
And now that I've kind of got into climbing, I've found out those guys, like when you talk to these climbers, their favorite thing in the world to do is analyze their injuries and then do nothing about them as well. But like skaters just go, oh, I'm not even. I remember my ankles being like rock melon size, and I'd try and get back on a board within a week.
Dude, I've had some scary, like gnarly stories about, like, one of my friends was skating and whipped out, knocked his head, and he's like, no, it's fine. Like, had drank like a couple of beers, but nothing crazy, and was like, no, it's fine. I'll just stay here, keep drinking with you boys. It's sweet. And then everyone was like, dude, you hit pretty hard. Like, you should go to the hospital. And he went to the hospital because one of the boys made him, and he had bleeding on his brain.
Oh,
and
dude,
it's scary.
How many stories are there about skateboarders getting slammed, going to the pub instead of the hospital?
North broke his wrist and went to the pub drinking all night and didn't go to the hospital until like a few days later.
Yeah, I remember one other guy that we both know quite well went to the pub straight after doing a hipper, and he was black and blue from his knees to under his arm. And the hospital was like, what the hell? And he went to the pub too. I guarantee you I broke a wrist and went to the pub. And then the next day you're like, oh, this is not good. And it's swollen up.
But
and then you go to the hospital.
Stories like Ben, Deneen.
Yeah, well, he filmed all day.
He filmed the entire day.
Yeah. And that wrist was obviously broken. He slammed.
But I remember at the end of the day, he was filming Liv doing that rail, and he was like, he had the camera sitting on like a light box or something like that, and he was just behind it pressing buttons, holding his wrist.
Yeah. It was bad. That was a bad break too. He shattered it. I remember hearing that thing hit the concrete because it was the first place we went to in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 9 a.m.
Slapped his hand down and you heard this shattering sound. And I thought it was just skin on concrete, but it was his bone shattering. He shattered his wrist. And he filmed the whole day like a legend.
8-hour filming day or something.
Full freak, Ben Deneen. Anyway.
So, I just want to know if I'm dealing with my injuries properly or not.
No, you're not. Well, you're dealing with them better than most people. You're doing what they're telling you to do.
Yeah.
Broken arm, dislocated wrist, and an ACL all in one slam. That's something I can't say I've ever done. I've never done more than one injury at a time.
I've never done it too.
No, you're screwed. I've never had more than I've broken a wrist, or I broke 2 wrists at the same time in New Zealand, but
how long was
the only multiple injury thing I've ever had. It's always one thing.
How did you do anything with 2 broken wrists? I keep going. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, that's so hard. And I'm like, well, at least it was my whole left side and I'm right-handed.
Yeah, but there was a saint involved and she's long gone. But she dealt with some shit, that poor girl.
Yeah.
We won't mention her name. It was not cool what went down there. That was bad for her and me. It was
how long you were in 2 casts?
6 weeks. Double wrist broken same day.
Yeah. See, whereas when I went in,
I could not believe that I did it. It was so Superman. That doctor is the guy who said to me, make a fist. If you make a fist, if you've got enough time in the air that you guys are having these monster slams, make a fist. Like land like that, not like that. And you'll never break because they're extension breaks. Like you do that and you snap that bone there.
I wasn't even concentrating because it's the moment I landed.
Oh, you blew your ACL.
I heard a pop and I went, what the fuck was that? And then next thing you know, I was like.
Yeah, if you blow out your knee and you're landing, the rest of, from there, anything can happen because you haven't got time to think. You're just going to whip yourself into the ground. Anyway, welcome to the Boardcast. We're talking about, what's tonight's episode about?
We're talking
Second to None. Yeah. The launch of our new
vintage
vintage
clothing line.
Not vintage clothing line.
Apparel? What do we call it? How do you
we're doing
business venture?
Yeah. Launch it. You go.
Well, I don't know. It's already kind of semi-launched.
Well, it's soft launch.
Launch. It's in the shop. Have been talking about it sporadically, like a lot of business ventures. They just pop up spontaneous, and then we go, yeah, let's fucking do this.
We think it was 2019, right?
Well,
maybe 2020, even earlier, possibly.
We were in Japan again.
Yeah.
Another business idea.
Yeah, it's because you're not working, so you think about.
Yeah. The moment you remove yourself, you have a really positive mindset, and you're like, fuck, this would be cool to do.
And then you come back and go, why are we doing it? Why did we do that for?
Yeah. When you're like on vacation and you've got the time and you're like, oh, wow, look how many hours in the day we have free.
Yeah. Then you come back and you haven't got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an idea that came about from, I can't remember. This time I don't know.
It's also something that I have been very interested in my whole life. Like I've always shopped secondhand. I've always shopped vintage. Like I'm not saying I don't buy new. I definitely do. But I'm very selective with what I buy new. And I buy I buy when I travel. That really, I look at my wardrobe and I have so many, like I have a lot of clothes. I admit that. But like a lot of them are all secondhand or vintage, or I've bought whilst traveling and they've got a story. So it is very much, this avenue of the business is very much me.
What got me in, there was so many different reasons that I think it's a good idea. A, point of difference, like you're not going to find this stuff anywhere else. B, it's recycling. At the end of the day, you're not it's not fast fashion, it's not throwing stuff in the bin.
Yeah.
We can find cool, unique items by traveling, which we both love to do, even though these trips are not, like when you're doing this stuff, it really feels like work.
Yeah.
I think this trip, the one we're about to go on,
which is why we're doing this episode.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot more of it. I think this trip's going to be hard, really hard.
Yeah, it's going to be long days.
Yeah, short trip, not a lot of time. So, and apparently it's real hot over there right now, like 99% humidity hot. So yeah, can't wait because I love the heat.
We'll be going from car to
aircon
to place to things. So hopefully.
Yeah, it's upcycling, recycling.
Yeah, but I think the interesting part is kind of balancing out our business really with the one thing that I think I've always came to you and like questioned you about is like the ethics behind fast fashion and like selling.
It's been a battle for you, right?
It's been a mental battle for me. Yeah, I've had a lot of I don't know, I've definitely educated myself in this area a lot and been like, how can I feel comfortable selling?
I remember you coming to me on one trip to Japan, you were reading some fucking book and you were in tears. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's not us. We're not making this shit.
Yeah.
Relax. It was some crazy book that was breaking your brain about
I was
the
like
labor involved in fast fashion.
And it was just the third world countries and how it was just the manufacturing of it all. And it went into like iPhones, it went into coffee, it went into chocolate and like the cacao, it went into like every different industry. It wasn't just retail. So it was just me having a mental breakdown over the world and its ethics. But I kind of like this where we can balance it out and have a unique, sorry, I'm fiddling.
Clicking. We know that Violet hates that sort of shit. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's a cool way to balance it out. Like
ADD, people. That's ADD.
No.
So bad.
But yeah, I think it's a cool way to balance it out. Like there is like, I'm not gonna lie, we do sell brands that are part of fast fashion. It is consumerism.
I'm not sure it is fast fashion. Like skateboarding, most skaters, the problem with skating is that you destroy the shit and it's done. Like it's sort of fast fashion in the sense that it doesn't last
it's not
long.
Sustainable fashion.
No, it's not.
So like dealing with big name brands that consume on such a large scale isn't the best for the world and for the environment and for the people who are making the clothes and everything like that. Like,
so second to none gives us a balance because at the end of the 100%. Day, we're not going to stop selling the Nikes and Adidas's of the world because that stuff's cool as shit and people love it. And there's like, you're going to want to stock an indie tee and a anti-hero tee. And
but it's also all the stuff that we're buying, the secondhand clothing, is secondhand Nike and it's secondhand Adidas and all this kind of stuff. So it's giving more life to the brand and to the items that they're making. So it's just extending the life of an item, which I think is really cool, rather than getting it ending up in landfill.
Cool. So let's talk about this trip.
Yeah.
8 days, 7 days?
7 days on the ground.
Tuesday
you can tell who's done
flight.
the planning.
Whatever. 7 days on the ground. Japan.
Yeah, I think we're staying in 6 different places. There's only one place that we're staying in
and
for
only
2
one
nights.
of us has a driver's license.
I offered, and you said, I'm not going to let you drive anyway.
No, true story.
And I don't think you can be in
2 places at once. I can't be in what? The passenger seat.
In charge of directions. Do you remember the Japan trip we just did where I was like, I'm done with directions. You're in control tonight. Here's the destination for our dinner. Get us there. And I just followed you, and it was a shit show of you trying to use Google Maps.
Never happened.
So this is why you drive and I direct.
Yeah, I'm not very good with directions at all. Especially overseas. I'm worse. Ask my wife. I'm really bad here.
I know.
I don't do directions. I don't even I went to pick up these mic stands a few weeks ago and I drove across the Harbour Bridge and I was only going to fucking Artarmon. I had to do a lap of the Harbour Bridge.
I get a phone call and I'm like, Claire, I'm going to be late back. I'm going across the Harbour Bridge.
Anyway, back to second to none. Let's not talk about me and the fact that I can't find things. Japan. So the reason we're doing Japan, we think that like culturally right now, skateboarding and snowboarding is absolutely killing it over there. So there's a lot of stuff that directly ties into what we're doing. We made some pretty good contacts through our snowboarding trips over there. We kind of understand that country really well when it comes to negotiating and dealing. Well, it's hard to negotiate with Japanese people.
But we've made a few cool contacts over there, so it'd be cool to see
how far deep we can get
into the back.
So yeah, it's just going to be interesting.
But one thing that I think would be cool, I might do a poll on our Instagram when this launches, is how many, like what kind of clothing people want to see. Do you want button-up shirts? Do you want hats? Do you want bags? Do you want, cool band tees? Do you want, like, what kind of thing when you go vintage shopping, what do you want to buy? And also,
half of them are going to say, I want Polar Big Boys and the same Volcom shirt as every other guy.
Well, then come visit our shop.
We got them too. We got them too, but that's not.
Also, men to women would be interesting too.
Yeah.
How many men versus women shop vintage?
Don't you feel like in skateboarding and snowboarding, women's fashion is kind of men's fashion? It's all blended a little bit. Like a lot of the girls wear men's stuff. A lot of the guys are wearing women's stuff. We weren't.
No. What is it called? I don't know. Max taught me. TikTok trend.
If it's got something to do with gender, I don't
You can put core at the end of anything and it's a thing.
Okay. Fish core.
Done. It's a thing.
Anyway, it seems like men wear women's clothes, women wear men's clothes. I know when a
lot of women, all the girls wear guys' clothes, which is a weird thing with fashion, and it can make trends, and it can also switch trends real quickly.
Anyway, so exciting times on the podcast. Second to none fashion. Space. Yeah, watch this space.
But yeah. I think it will be a really cool avenue to add to our business. We've been talking about it. We're speaking about it in Australia as well, as like our first trip in 2020 in Japan is when we really started to look into it.
We started looking in Australia, but we didn't find anything interesting enough. It was like the same shit that you see here, but 10 years later. It's not. Yeah. There's not enough variant. Like you go overseas, there's so much more to choose from. Yeah.
And with the traveling that I've done in my life too, and that's why I shopped. So I've always gone to like the markets and like the stores and vintage places and things like that overseas, and like it's just cool shit because it's not in your local area already. So
yeah. Anyway, stay tuned. It's going to have it's got its own Instagram, but it'll also be available through the website
and in store.
Second to none vintage coming. Well, it's already available. So get on the website, look on the clothing tab, and
but there'll be lots more products coming soon.
Yeah, so stay tuned.